Welcome to another edition of the Trahern Crew Show on 94.1 FM, Frogtown Tuned In Radio. Excited. We got a great guest in the building. We got Representative John Thompson and we got Zen Patah all the way down from Texas joining us. What's happening? What's happening, Representative Thompson?
Work, man. How y'all doing, bro? A lot of work. Let me turn my camera on.
We also got Reverend Spence. He's running for county commissioner here in Ramsey County. We got Zen Patah down there in Texas. So we just gonna have a quick conversation. Honored to have these great people on this call tonight. If everybody just wants to go around and introduce themselves real quick. Can y'all hear me?
Hey, Trey, I'm honored, man. I'm smiling. I'm on the Zoom meeting with a legend, Reverend Spence, on the Zoom. Hey, yeah, I call him the bald head, but we all the bald head twins, man. Yes, my name is Representative John Thompson. I represent District 67A, which is most of the east side, particularly the Payne-Phelan area in St. Paul. First term legislator. Probably never been a legislator either. I've never been a politician, but I'm for sure I've been the same skin color for as long as I've been on this earth. And so I just want to inspire people to be the change that they want to see. And so it's an honor to be here with you.
No doubt. Thank you for coming in and joining us on this great broadcast. We have Reverend Spence. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
I'm Reverend Darryl Spence. Been in the neighborhood a few years. Honored to be here with you and with my buddy JT. It's good to see you, boy. Thank you for the invitation. Anticipating a great show. I'm just here to listen and do what I can do. Candidate for Ramsey County Commissioner, District 4. That's who I am.
No doubt. Zen, could you introduce yourself?
I have to agree to be.
Sure, no problem. I am a simple math teacher here in Dallas, but I am interested in the issues that you guys are discussing. And like you all, I am bald-headed. I'm just going to sit in the audience and listen.
Great. So I'm going to just start out, Reverend Spence. We brought you on tonight because we want Representative Thompson too, but we're going to focus more on your campaign a little bit today. But we want people to know that there's a race, that there's elections in 2022, and that there are Black people running for these seats, and that Black people and just community and people who support Black candidates should be aware of that. So why did you decide to run for county commissioner? I think you're muted.
Thank you, Jonathan. I like that point in my ear. I'm running because I think now is the time. I think for the years that I've given to the community, I've never really desired to hold public office. I did run several years ago as a last minute decision after the last rezoning, and I tried for the same seat that 65A representative. But this time it's about a feeling. I got a gut feeling when Commissioner Carter said she was stepping down and not going to seek re-election. Immediately something happened on the inside of me that I had never felt before. It was a yearning, a desire to want to serve, I'm comfortable. I've been doing what I've done for over 25 years, but for some reason, with all that's going on, Trey, I thought it was the time. I think now is the time that we bring what we do, and what we do is a lot, but we need to bring it so that people like JT ain't out there by themselves. We got to begin to voice what is real. And the more I listen, the more I know that this is the time for Reverend Spence to get up off the bench and get in the game.
No doubt. JT, do you got a question for Mr. Spence, Reverend Spence?
So I know a lot of the priorities because I've looked at a lot of the things that you prioritize also. Rev, can you talk about because I've also seen this also in politics where our blood is being the topic of political campaigns for people to actually come out and win campaigns, but they don't intend on helping our community. Like you're right in the thick of the blood that's shedded in our community on the concrete. And so, I guess as a candidate, how does that make you feel to see other candidates that have no clue how to solve the issues in our community, like use our blood as a political talking point?
You know, someone asked me just the other day, JT. They said, "Why you? What's your platform?" And you know, these are new terms to me. I don't know what they're talking about. What my platform? I'm standing on level ground. I'm down here watching what's happening. I'm sick and tired of folks telling me what the study says is going on in my neighborhood. I am a 58-year-old African-American brother, been that black all my life. I've never been asked one time when all this money got poured into the community, all this money that came to study African-American males and why they do what they, no one's ever asked me. So instead of keep being the missing voice, I decided that I need to be the voice at the table that tells you what I'm hearing. You know my yard. I can sit out in my yard and we can have a real study. We got real brothers from the hood that from day to day live what this bloodshed, this stuff that other folks are taking checks for, but not doing the work. So I applaud the effort of people like you, JT, who stand up and say, not this time. We're going to stand up and be represented. So I want to be the voice that has been silent too long.
Thank you, sir. That's a great answer. So one of the big issues that we've been dealing with in St. Paul, and I think a Ramsey County Commission, how would you address housing and homelessness in the Black community as commissioner? Or what would you do different?
Well, you know right now that housing is a crazy issue. Even in my own home, my wife, her desire is to, we're getting up in age. We want to go somewhere. There is a whole lot of low-income housing, a whole lot of high-income housing, but there's no housing in the middle. For those of us who just want, a 1-2 bedroom, the price, we need to sit down, talk to people like you, Trey. You're out here. You know what's needed in our community. We don't need no more high rises to the sky full of people that don't look like me, that are coming into District 4 and taking over. We need some places for our people in our community. My sister-in-law, it hurt me when she was looking for a senior place and everybody kept telling her she's making too much. We need to address those issues. But at the same time, I work with the sheriff's department. I do community service for the sheriff. We're down on West 7th looking at the homeless. Our homeless problem is too big. I've been meeting with a coalition of sisters who are deciding that they're going to buy housing and begin to teach people how to live in housing, because you just can't give a homeless person a home and say, go with it. No, you've got to teach. They need to be retaught. I want us to partner with those who are already doing it. The word of Reverend Spence's campaign is collaboration, not separation. We need to collaborate. It's too many people doing it. We don't need to bring somebody else to the table who's a well thought and all this. No, I need to bring some brothers, some sisters, some folks that's down on the ground doing the work. Come to the table. Let us talk about it. Let's move forward. And I'm going to say this to everybody. It's about us. I can't tell you how I'm going to be at the table because I think that it is our time.
Man, that's a great answer. Brother Zen, did you want to ask a question? Well, I'll go back to Mr. Thompson, then I'll come through. This is good to have a good conversation with the brothers sometimes too, man.
Hey, Rev, I'm honored to be like. Thank you, first of all, for pouring into me a lot of the wisdom that you poured into me. I honestly don't think that I would even be where I am had I not known you. Because you kind of toned me down a little bit. Like, it's all right to have that fire, but come on, John. So thank you. But you because you are in the you're on the ground with a lot of our youth here. We always like have we have names that we call our youth. We call them at-risk youth. We call them all the names they call it, but they're at risk, honestly, if we don't help them. As county commissioner, but first of all, I do know that Ramsey County owns a lot of properties around the state. And as county commissioner, I always try to figure out ways to like solve a problem. You know firsthand that these kids have absolutely nothing to do in the capital. Here, we're in St. Paul, and this is the capital of the entire state. And there's absolutely nothing for these kids to do here. I mean, absolutely. There's no roller rink, the bowling alleys, the parks and recs the programming is so restricted. So as county commissioner, can you like elaborate on some of the things that you see and could work on to bring resources, not only resources, but fun things for these kids to do? They didn't even laser tag for these kids, but they sure know how to carjack. So
Man,
can you
look, let me jump in because you getting so much on top of me. I am so concerned. My wife told me about this thing they used to call the Dust Bowl here in the Twin Cities. Where's it at? Where's the movie theater? Why is the gym closed? I'm a coach, Jimmy Lee. I'm there. I coached at Jimmy Lee football. I coached. Hey, one day they came to me and said, we don't have a soccer coach. I don't even know what soccer is. But I went and coached soccer for 2 seasons because guess what? That meant for that moment, those kids didn't have to be out there doing carjackings. What we want to do, we have to go out, make things. There has to, I've been told that there's a lot of resources sitting, but no one's addressing the youth in our community. Any given time when my son, he's 23 now, but for any given time, my house could have had 6, 7, I could have had a basketball team, a football team right in my home, looking for something to do, looking for a way out. I want to be the one who says, look, time out for studying African American. Y'all been studying us so long. JT, when they started studying when I got here. And still we haven't opened the gym up. We know that what can I do? I know that there are some good programs sitting in the wings waiting. I was reading, help me, Lisa Clemens' post today. I don't know if y'all read it, but she said that, what is the thing called? Totem Town needs to reopen. My thing was, I didn't read the post. I was reading the responses. I don't know that Totem Town in the old model needs to reopen. But if it's a vacant building that we can come in and bring some young folks and give them some LOVE, let's open it. Let's open it. Let's open Jimmy Lee where our kids can go. Let's open Frogtown Rec. Let's go over on the east side, open some rec centers that at night they got something to do. When they get out of school, it doesn't make sense that when you get out of school, that all of it is programming. What about just coming in and shoot some hoop? What about coming in and lifting some weights, running? You know, we like to talk. I want to set up centers where, yeah, if you want to do that game stuff, my boy Mickey Frost got some true centers all over the city. You know, JT, you always there. These are the kind of things I want to see at a greater level. Let's not go and try and redo Mickey. Let's call Mickey and say, Mick, here's some cash. Go build those around the city so that we can do more for our youth.
Hey Trey, there's a brother by the name of the pastor's name is Wayne Randolph Felton, but his son Daniel Felton is the band director over at De La Salle High School.
Okay.
And one of the things he said is he said, when I went into the building as the band director, he said, I had to tell the administrators that we're tossing all the music that they played before I got here. We're not playing Louis no more. And then he said, and then I asked the kid, what is it that y'all want to play? He said, I'm still trying to find out who Lil Durk is. But all of his kids are A students in this music class because he is like acting them. And so any decision made for us, without us, the outcome is pretty much the same. And so I think we missed the point. We missed the mark when we don't say, hey, what is it that y'all want to do? Because apparently what it is we're doing is not working. I don't want you, you're right, I don't want to see a study, Rev, but I do want to see more, you're right, collaboration, but also like don't take people's intellectual properties and give them a $50 gift certificate over at the county no more. Like take the intellectual properties, man, and like pay them. That's how we fix the problem, like together. So I like that response. There was another thing I just wanted to double back and ask Rev about, like, how does he feel about that?
I think you hit something, and I'm glad it's early in the campaign because I can use it now. I think it is very, very important that we as a collaborative, because I'm already proclaiming a collaborative. I mean, those boots on the ground organizations, those who are elected, those who do what you do, Trey, coordinate us that are elected or boots on the ground. I know I've been called to some events for you, and I've been there and I've seen you do what you do. But I think if we can all come together and then bring those who we are talking about, quit talking about them and let's hear from them. Let them talk to us. Tell them what would better work for them. We don't need to be on a Zoom meeting. We need to be in a room with some young brothers, young sisters, and let's talk about it. Let's sit in the room, break it up, chop it up. And when we come out the room, we have solutions, because right now it's just a bunch of old heads trying to say what these kids need, what they want. And none of us ask them what they need or what they want. We need to go in and find out what would make you feel better as an African American, as a Latino American. We need to find out what everybody needs and then try and work on getting it. Not just sit in Pastor Patterson preached a sermon not long ago where he talked about we need some valley workers, some folks down in the valley. He used Ezekiel 37 with the dry bones, and he said that right now what's going on, we are dry bones. We are those who have lost. We have nothing left. But if we can speak life into those dry bones, they can live again. Our children are not to be thrown away, not to continue to be studied. We need to go and speak to the problem. We need to talk to them whether we can lift them up and go in the direction, because right now no one's talking to them. So they're loosey-goosey. They're talking to each other, and the message that they're relaying, I'm sick and tired of every week I got to go to a funeral. A brother then killed a brother then killed himself. The police then killed. It's so many different avenues. I was listening to Marcus yesterday, and Marcus, I went into his new store. Shout out to the new store in Maplewood. I was in the store, and he was talking about all the different avenues that these young folks are on. We have to sit at a table. Quit fighting among each other. It can't be Trey against the Rev. It can't be Mickey against JT. We've got to sit at the table as grown folk and help our young folk get to the next stage. That's the collaboration I'm talking about. Ain't no passing the baton. It's holding the baton, pulling them forward that they can get and see a better life.
Man, okay, thanks, Rev. And we do need to start coming to the table together like that. And also, one thing I know is not being afraid. I know you're not afraid of our kids. I know JT's not afraid of our kids because I see them around you all the time. You know what I'm saying? I see you around them, so that's real important. So my question, my passion is reparations for the American descendants of chattel slavery. I just was wondering, where are you at on that?
I'm broke. I'm like you. I honestly know that reparations should come, and reparations should come now. I'm a descendant of slaves. Any black man that ain't in support of what you're talking about out there is out of his mind. Will it come in my lifetime? I don't know, but I'm going to do everything I can to support what you're doing. You will never hear me say we don't need reparations. We need reparations yesterday. Tomorrow would be too late. You know what I'm saying?
Sir.
We need to push forward. I applaud your push. Keep pushing. Stay on. And that's another thing. You will not hear Reverend Spence say, I know everything. But when you look at my team, I got somebody from every direction at my door telling me, and I'm a listener. I don't need to be the voice. I need to be the listener so that when the time comes, when everybody on August 9th or November, whatever, cast their ballot and I come out as county commissioner, I need to be able to speak, put word to truth and stand up and tell the whole county what is needed by our people.
And that's great. That's great to know because we got a bill we're going to be calling on you for early this week. You got another question? I got because we got about 15 more minutes with the good Reverend Spence. So JDAI, so I was just gonna say Totem Town was an old juvenile detention center. So hearing you say it could be transformed into something else if it's a vacant building there, like a health and wellness center or something. I'd be definitely tell Lisa I'd be in shape. So because actually I ain't gonna say there's a mother that's she's like, man, my son, man, we need something for him. Not a totem town, but a place where he can go and get some manhood training or get some healing and stuff like that. But that's something that I think that the commissioners could set up.
Eventually. It's amazing. Can I cut you? Because I don't want to lose this. I'm probably talking to the same woman you're talking to. Because she told me, a lady out of the blue said, Reverend Spence, I don't want my son locked up, but I want him someplace where he's safe, where I can sleep at night. Because right now I can't sleep because he's involved in so much. He's doing so much because nothing's uniformed in his life. That's what I think we ought to do with Totem Town. Come together, bring some JTs, some Mickeys, some Trays, some Reverend Spencer. Let's sit around, talk to these young folks, give them the love that they're missing. It's crazy. I got nephews connected to stuff that I'm like, whoa. Number one, you ain't old enough to be doing all this. But we need to, JT, I think together we can make it happen. And you know I got friends in certain places. We ain't going to talk about them tonight, though.
Reverend, I was gonna see. We got a couple questions that might intersect. Mr. Thompson, could you just tell us real quick what's on your some of the things that are just on your, not your agenda, but just some of the things that are on your on your mind right now legislatively as the session gets underway?
Hey, bro. So when we were talking about budgets, I wanted to like highlight something real quick. Because there's a bill I can show you. I wish I'd have brought it with me. There's a bill I can show you. It's in our farming bill. We're trying to create pathways for farmers of color, right? In that package, I asked for African American money for African American. because I don't know any black farmers here. And this is probably 3 black farmers in the entire state. But if you look at the bill, and I'll show it to you when I get a chance, the money was appropriated. It was $250,000 for the Hmong American Partnership. Then there's $250,000 for the Latino Economic Development Center. And then there's $75,000 in there for BIPOC community. But you understand that the 2 above the BIPOC pot can go into the BIPOC pot. Does that make sense? Does that not make sense? So they get $250,000 each, but then they identify as BIPOC. So then they can go into that. So the money never trickles down to the B in BIPOC, is what I'm saying. Right. So I want to make sure that people are careful when they're looking at, be like, oh yeah, we got money for people of color, when honestly black people won't ever see that money, because everybody can dip into that pot, because it's black, indigenous, and people of color. And so everybody above can dip it. So pay attention to that type of language, because that's the new trickery. It's not new. The tactics haven't changed, just the faces, by the way. It's not new. All right. But, we talk about education. We have some of the worst education disparities in the nation. Here. And Rev, to circle back what you were talking about with Totem Town, here we have like kids who are not interested in the curriculum that's being taught at our schools. But if you put a tape measure in their hand, you just taught them shop math. Do you know what I mean? And then they love it. They love this hands-on. I can touch it if I could touch it. And so like I have this board here. It's a light switch here. It's a GFI receptacle. And in the back, I unwire it, but I let the kids play with it and wire it. But the kids who can actually make that light come on, they're like, wow. Some kids will blow the breaker and you have to go in, right? But what they don't know is I just taught them how to wire a whole house. And after I tell them that's the concept, those 3 words, does that make sense? So I know for a fact that we're not like tapping into, when we talk about their education, we're cheating them in one of the richest states in the United States. And so we did just drop the Migration Act package also in the hopper. So we are, unfortunately, we do have to have a study on reparations, but they don't even want to have a conversation. Like we do know reparations. They don't even want to have a conversation without, so we're like the new test gerbils. It's nothing new. Again, the tactics never change. It's the faces.
I'm a strong believer that that is it. It's a tactical attack. They can always say, well, we're thinking about it. We're studying. We're working on that. That's what's on the table. But it's been on the table since I've been here. I've been doing this boots on the ground for over 25 years. Man, when I look back, a guy walked into the church today and told me that he in college. And sometimes I get forgetful that, man, I've been doing this a long time. Young lady stopped me the other day and said, aren't you Reverend Spence, the God Squad? Man, she got kids tall as me. Said,
hey Trey, how I met you is you had my son. You had my son and you were teaching my kids, like in the kids, urban farming. Yeah. Like how to grow their own food. I don't know if you remember that. It was years ago, man. I know we're getting old, man. Yeah. But honestly, Trey, you saw how interested that big their eyes got when their plants came up. Right. So I know it's not like you know what I'm saying, but we don't have those career pathways anymore.
And not to cut, just because this is legislation too. Like there's an argument about CRT right now, but even like, I want to learn CRT from at least a diverse school, a diversity of teachers. So I don't want to just all my teachers are teaching me about Black history, but they're all white. You know what I'm saying? So we need to start having some Black teachers, because I was a teacher teaching your Black child. And so I know what interests the Black child is: money. So when I would be talking about farming, I would be talking about money. I would show them big gold chains like Kanye West. And I will be able to bring it back to our lineage, or I'll connect a gold chain to Carter G. Woodson, or Ida B. Wells or something. And I bet you he remembers that, and that's what would make him interested, because we was talking about economics, even if they're 4, 5, 6, they were understanding cash at an early age. And so, like, to me, education is supposed to help us solve our problems. But if we're getting educated and we can't close the racial wealth gap, or we can't stop gun violence in our community, or we can't close the health disparities in Minnesota, then we can't be saying I'm educated, or we need a new type of education that can help us close the disparities in our community. And we can legislate that, but we got to come together, like Reverend Spence is saying. And what you do is I'm like, when I'm out with John, I watch how he's organizing at all times, and if we can bring people to the table, educated people to the table that can help us solve our problems. I'm sorry, man, I just was thinking about them because Spence was talking about, that was years ago, but your son's older now, bigger now. You know what I'm saying? Our kids that was 5 years ago. So now they're bigger, they're older, and they're entering the workforce and things like that. So I just, when we talk about education, I really hope that we can start getting more Black teachers up here in Minnesota. Because I was even out in Robbinsdale, and there was Black kids out there this weekend, and they had a Black History Expo and stuff. But yeah, so I just, that, and I don't know what we can do at the county level about that, but I definitely know we need some legislation around that. My bad. I just want to put that in there real quick.
Hey, I don't know how much time we got left, but I want to tell you this, brother. I'm running for the 4th district of Ramsey County Commissioner to find out all the things we have not been told. There's no way somebody that's been in this as long as you, we don't know what all the county can do. The county owns property within all the county. So if nothing else, tell me where that property is so I can take Trey out there and he can plant some greens, some beans, teach some kids something. If he got to put a Kanye West chain on, I don't care what he do. As long as he can take our young folks out there and teach them. Because there is an availability. There has to be. There is space. I was talking to a guy who told me that half of Frogtown Rec is owned by the county. But we don't know that. There are secrets that
Frogtown Rec or Frogtown Farms.
Did you hear what I said?
Man.
Frogtown Rec. But how do we know unless we are at the table and being willing to share with people like you? Because you need agriculture. We need to be able to teach our kids whatever. So I need it. It's time that we stand up. I know, JT, you have a hard time because I told you a long time ago, shh, you're too loud. I'm loud, but I now know why he's loud. I'm so tired of people telling me, well, Reverend Spence, if you become the county commissioner, you can't do what you're doing now. Why? Why can't I help somebody once I get a title? That is a good reason you want me to get out the race. I don't understand that. I'm going to run till they tell me, Rev, the race over. Either you're going to tell me I won or I lost, but I'm going to stay on the battlefield. I'm going to keep attacking these young folks. I'm going to keep being in their face. I got a grill that I've been using since JT was out here. I'm going to keep using that grill on the corner, keep talking to our young folks. I don't care what set you belong to, all that. We come to my house, we're going to have barbecue. We're going to sit around. Some guy told me last year, I don't eat pork, so I had to buy a new grill because he didn't want pork on the same grill he was eating his beef off. But guess what? That's what we want to do. We want to be the difference that we talk about. I don't want people to say that when I'm gone, well, Rev was a good guy on the street, but he never helped nobody. I want to help folks. I want to be known when this is all over. I gave my best. I'm at the starting line. I used to run the mile in track, cross country guy. I know I'm too short and fat now. I probably couldn't run across the street. But what I want you to know, I'm in this run to win. I never suited up in a race to lose. I'm here not to win for Reverend Spence, because guess what? Everybody know who I am. I'm good. The God Squad is good, but my community is hurting. My young Black children are hurting. I need to step up. Now is the time that voice that has been talking forever but never being heard at the table, I want to represent it. I need your help. I need your vote.
So if
That's
people
it.
want to help, they want to volunteer, they want to get connected with the campaign, what's the website, how they get
Well,
in touch
right
with you?
now, well, let me tell you, tomorrow I'm gonna have a website and a bank account. But right now, if you're looking to help me, go to the Facebook page, Reverend Spence for Ramsey County Commissioner. Come on, let's go. We got a great following now. I figured that part out. Tomorrow I'm gonna talk to some real people, JT. We're gonna do it the right way. I need your support. Thanks, T. I never thought Trey would be the first one to call me to do something like this. But look, I did pretty good, right? I got my iPad on top of stuff, trying to,
You did.
looking down. Hey, by the time November come, I'm gonna be an expert at this. All
Yes,
right,
sir.
love
We're
you.
gonna bring you back too, Rev. We just wanted to let people know that you're doing your thing. So thank you for joining us. We're gonna finish it off with John for the next like 2-3 minutes just to get some more legislative reports. This program will also be on Black Watch Television on your Roku channel or www.blacktvs.com. Replay tomorrow around the same time. So we here to just let all the black candidates get their message out and let the people know, because this is an off-year election. So a lot of people don't know that there's some very important races. And the one you're in is very serious because it was held by Tony Carter since 1995. And we need to make sure that we have somebody strong in there after she's gone. So thank you for stepping up to the plate and getting involved in this race. When you keep us updated about what's coming on, we know caucuses and all that is coming up. So we're going to have you back.
Thank you. I appreciate it. JT,
All right, thank you for coming on. Peace. Hey, and that was Reverend Spence. Make sure you get connected with his campaign, connect with him, talk to him, see where he's at on the issues, and so he can get your support. Mr. Thompson, people say they don't want to study, but right now you have some of the most important legislation in Minnesota history. Your office wrote it. I read it, and I was tripping out. Like, oh my goodness, I'm serious, bro. I was in the rest dancing. Me and the brother Jeremy was reading it. We was tripping out. And it has national implications because there's a lot of reparation activists who are looking at Minnesota because we're making things, from George Floyd to also passing the St. Paul Recovery Act. And you're on that steering committee. And now you just wrote this historic piece of legislation. So what are some other pieces? I know we went over them real quick, but I know there were some other things you were talking to me about too, legislatively, that's real important right now.
In public safety, I put together a bill that would actually take away the pension of some of these officers who are convicted of a felony. And it wouldn't take away their total pension. It would take away the state portion of their pension. And it would give our money back to the state instead of us paying double bubble, man, and paying these frivolous lawsuits and paying for their pension when they get out of prison. I think that's only fair. And this was way before the Kim Potter. This is like the first bill, the last bill I dropped last year, but it was like the last day of session. I just wanted to make sure that was one of the first bills that was heard. This section, and so it's sitting over in pensions, which is a committee that's totally ran by Senate Republicans. And so we have to see if we can negotiate that bill. Man, there's so many other bills. If you go to the House website, you'll see some of the bills. So far, those are the two bills that I've dropped this year, and I'm still waiting on a couple of bills to come in. I had the Philando Castile Act. The last time we had to break those because it was such a huge package. We had to break those bills into grab the low-hanging fruit, the things that we think we could attain immediately.
Which is key.
So, bro, like if you think about it, I've actually brought like maybe $77 million worth of investments to our community in my freshman year.
Say that one more time so people are aware, though. I don't think people understand, especially on the east side, man.
I think I brought like $77 million worth of investments into our community in my freshman year.
As a
I think
freshman,
that's huge.
it is.
As a freshman, because I never, my message is always going to be consistent. It's the same as people over politics, especially the people who take their time to go and support your campaign. Hey, bro, we have to do that work. I'm waiting on you, man. I'm waiting on you, bro. Like we have to, bro. Like that's the new protest, bro. Is to actually like come on for
now,
them
you know,
seats.
I did it a couple times. I'm gonna get back into it. I'm just getting it setting things up right now, but definitely, and even your run, even if you don't win, but we know you both to be reelected. But I'm talking about when people run saying Darryl Spence. I actually he might win. We'll probably win too, but if you run a strong campaign, at least you'll get issues out there. You'll start pressing. Like when I ran for, I never lost a debate. I'll just say that. I've won every debate. I ran for city council. I ran for mayor. I didn't get to debate the state rep candidate, but I've won I've never lost a debate. And a lot of candidates adopted, the things that when we were debating, some of the talking points that I was talking about. But you're still out here, though, on the ground, boots on the ground. If we protest, you're there. You know what I'm saying? We did a press conference with all Black men and fathers against police brutality. You was there, and we need those type of state representatives who are still directly connected to community. And something you was able to explain, I don't want to talk, just you said, I don't know if you said it tonight, but you said they took some money that's supposed to go to education, and they were going to take it to training for cops. Could you expand on that more, and why and where they should actually take that money from?
Our majority leader and our colleagues had a press conference about the $30 million they wanted to take out of They wanted to take $30 million out of our higher ed budget and actually create scholarships for new officers because they have a shortage of officers. And my pushback was the teachers are going on strike this week, like soon. And so you could take that same $30 million and give it to the teachers. By the way, we have a shortage of nurses post-COVID. We had a shortage. So take some of that money because our governor's package is asking for $300 million for public safety. And so take some of that $300 million and put it into public safety. And so I offered like a few friendly amendments, and then the bill got taken off the table. Those are like, again, bro, the tactics never change, just to face it. But those are like things that people don't know happens. If you're not at the table, you on the plate. So those are things that people don't know. Happens. So we see this huge press conference. We're doing something big, but on the back end, we're harming our community because a lot of those resources could be put in the areas. This is one of the richest states in the United States, bro. You know that?
And one of the reasons the teachers are striking is for pays for EA who are going to be in a lot of who are Black. Sometimes there's a lot of EAs who are Black. Some of that 30 million can go to the like you're saying, the teachers. Man, so that's why it's good to watch. Go ahead,
bro. Everybody want a clean bathroom until it's time to pay the janitor.
Exactly. Cut the check. You did, man. State rep. Thank you for coming on the Trahern Crew show. We're gonna be talking to a couple more candidates for county commissioner, and it's good for them to hear somebody who understands what's going on in government and that can ask them a couple questions. So we're going to keep asking you to come back. We'll probably have a bigger group next week, but it's good to have somebody like you asking these questions too. But for people who want to get involved with your campaign that's doing big things too, or help out in any way, how can they get in touch with you?
Just hit my email at johnthompsonfor67a.com.
No doubt.
Or just call me 651-515-4369.
No
like
doubt.
now, who's gonna do that? I dropped my cell phone number, man, because I'm supposed to be accessible for the people. And so like you will get this phone that I'm holding in my hand right now if you call me at that number.
No doubt. And that's the kind of state rep we need. So, yeah, I can't say, just that's Representative John Thompson. He's a staple in our community. Get in touch with him. Touch base with you early this week.
Let's get up tomorrow.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir,
well.
right away, early. Peace. Thank you, Mr. Patah. If you want to give us the last couple closing words. So, Mr. Patah, Zim Patah's here. He's here working with us. He's part of the newly formed National Independent Black Caucus. He's down in Texas where they're setting things up beautifully. In a couple of weeks, we might be hearing from candidates that's running for office down there in Texas, Indiana, Minnesota, around the nation. But we're going to let you know about Black people who are running for office, and we will make sure that they are putting Black people's issues first. Thank you all for tuning in. Go ahead, Mr. Zen.
Oh, no, I just wanted to say thank you for hosting and doing this forum. This is what it's all about, is collaboration, sharing ideas, and understanding how we can, expand ideas across the country. From
Yes,
city
sir.
to city. And so I appreciate you. Appreciate you hosting this. Appreciate you having us. Yes.
No doubt. Thank you for being a part of this. We're going to be back next Sunday. All right. Thank you. So I'd like to thank you all for tuning in to another edition of the Trahern Crew Show right here on 94.1 FM, Frogtown Tuned In Radio to watch the rebroadcast. Shout out to Alma. Shout out to Kathy. Shout out to Bernadine and everybody else who tuned in and watched the program. You can watch the rebroadcast of this on www.blacktvs.com or Black Watch Television on your YouTube, Black Watch Television on your Roku channel. If you haven't yet, go to www.stpaulrecoveryact.com and check out the reparations survey today. Also, call your state representative and your people in the Senate and tell them to sign on to the Minnesota Migration Act, which establishes reparations for the American descendants of chattel slavery who reside right here in Minnesota. Thank you all for tuning in to the Trahern Crew Show. We will be back next Sunday at 8 p.m. Have a blessed and prosperous week. All right? Peace. Shout out to everybody on 94.1 FM Frog.